Child's Play is a reboot of the Chucky film franchise and completely reimagines the origins of the iconic killer doll. With Mark Hamill taking on the voice of Chucky, Lars Klevberg takes on directing duties for the film, which changes the origin of Chucky from being a doll possessed by the soul of a serial killer to that of an AI, very much in the vein of HAL 9000 from 2001: A Space Odyssey. Now, fans were understandably upset by news of a remake changing Chucky's origin, especially as there had just been a Cult of Chucky film released in 2017, although that was straight to DVD. The original series of films certainly had evolved into being far more comedic and satirical, which is where a lot of the charm from that series comes from, but it has been some time since a new Chucky film had a proper theatrical release. Now, I'll admit I'm not the biggest fan of the franchise. I don't dislike it, I just haven't really gone through and watched all the films. The first three Child's Plays are the only ones I remember really seeing. In terms of slasher horror films, I was more into Halloween and Friday the 13th, so I never got super into Child's Play. But I will say, even though this remake changes up the mythology of Chucky, I have to admit, I actually found it quite entertaining. Is this movie going to be for everyone? Absolutely not. This Child's Play is insanely gory, about on the same level as last year's Halloween film. But for fans of slasher films wanting to hear Mark Hamill as Chucky, there is a lot of fun to be had, especially if you're going with friends. Now, the remake skews quite closely to the plot of the original Child's Play, where a single mother gifts her son Chucky, unaware of what the doll actually is. However, we now have this technological spin, where there is some less than subtle commentary and satire on our reliance to Siri or Alexa, but it is fun to see that technology that people have become so accustomed to suddenly turn on them. And I'd have to say this spin on Chucky's origin works quite well. When given the context and how this new mythology is established in the film, it leads to some fun Age of Ultron inspired moments. The movie sticks fairly close to your standard slasher film tropes. It doesn't do too much to subvert those tropes in any way, and for most slasher fans, that's fine. Child's Play doesn't need to reinvent the genre. Most people are just going to this film to have a fun time with Chucky. In my mind, this is easily on par with last year's Halloween film, because what I didn't expect is how much humor there would actually be in Child's Play, and a lot of it lands, thanks to the cast consisting of Aubrey Plaza and Tyree Henry. There were a number of times that the audience was really laughing, especially during the bonding moments between Chucky and the young boy Andy. The new Chucky doll is creepy as hell, but the filmmakers also know when they can use it for comedy. Plus, Mark Hamill completely delivers in a few standout moments, particularly one scene involving a lawnmower. For the most part, Mark Hamill just sounds like himself. He's not doing a Joker like some people were assuming he would. He does play Chucky with some more innocence in the beginning of the film, but eventually it becomes straight up Mark Hamill having an absolute blast. With this being a slasher film, there are some characters who do some really dumb things in Child's Play that are intentionally setting themselves up to be killed, and I know that's going to piss some people off. And while initially this does get annoying because you can clearly see what's going to happen, the filmmakers still do a great job of building up that tension for the big gory payoff. You know what's coming, but boy will the gore still catch you off guard. And for slasher fans, that's where the fun is going to come from. There are some jump scares that do feel a little forced, but thankfully this isn't a film with constant jump scares. Child's Play doesn't reinvent the slasher genre, but it doesn't have to. This new vision of Chucky is an entertaining, gore-filled slasher experience that has a lot more humor than I was expecting. Plus, Bear McCreary makes some really fun choices with the old Child's Play music. Mark Hamill is a great choice to play Chucky, and I have to say, I had a lot of fun with this take on the character, even if it's a slightly more sci-fi angle now. But again, given how this movie is set up, I think the Alexa-inspired take works quite well in the context of this film. For long-time Chucky fans, I'd say give this film a shot. You might end up enjoying it more than you're expecting to, but I definitely don't expect this film to be for everyone. Child's Play gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Guys, I hope you like this review. If you want to see more reviews just like this one, stay right here for your Monofix. Bye guys.